OTBSpreads prediction show coming to you live on May 26, 2026, where it's Takeover Tuesday. We're going to take over the books, cash some slips, and run up the score, guys. Yesterday was an absolute phenomenal day, but before I get into that, I gotta say, I just recorded a 30-minute show and didn't click the fucking record button. So yeah, let's double back on the show, man. I should have the routine and where we're going pretty quickly and clearly in my mind here. But yeah, let's review yesterday. Great day, one of the more profitable days that we have had in the month of May. We were all over the Pirates, all over the Knicks, all over the Hurricanes yesterday. MLB play of the day was the Phillies. We had the lean on Luzardo. He did just that. Held off the Padres. They struggled with left-handed pitchers. But man, really profitable day. Really great day. We cashed a 40x cash out on a live call home run. It was a 4-leg home run. We had Alvarez, we had CJ Abrams, Kyle Schwarber, and George Springer. Obviously, I signaled the chat. I said, guys, cash this thing out somewhere between 30x to 40x. There's no reason to hang on and wait for Springer. And he did not hit, so it was the right call when we made it in the bottom of the fourth there. So look, guys, sometimes it's about taking those cash outs and not getting too greedy when they're there, when they are there. Look, they were offering me a nice cash out on the Knicks last night at halftime. I ended up waiting it out, but look, I mean, for the amount that they were offering me, it was like, what am I, for 5% more? Like, what am I doing? But that does make a difference long term sometimes. So that's just a little take, guys. What you're looking at here is blowout alert. We all know that. And if you want my premium sequence plays that I make every single day using some of this data as well as my sharp and knowledgeable reads, you can just go ahead to the descriptions tab, click on the Winible link, use code word TAKEOVER today, get my premium plays and lock in. All right, we're looking to go on a run here and finish out the month with 6 days left and absolutely tear the books up. We feel like we've been trading off some wins here recently, have a winning day or 2 to 3 winning days, and then kind of trade it off with a 1 or 2 unprofitable and just kind of like a balancing act. We're still in profit for the month, but I want to see us pull away and really secure that. So let's see what we can do today and follow it up with another profitable day. All right, guys, I just want to show you around blowout alert really quick. This is in my descriptions tab as well. You just click the blowout link and sign up for free. But I always suggest getting elite because you get great data like the batting signals here, man. Look at this. You can go up here and look at hits today. Ketel Marte is projected for a lot of hits. He's got a great matchup rating, rising. He's got a pitching edge. But if you go over here to home runs, you see more. I know a lot of you guys like home runs. This gives you some really good knowledge. So look, you got Juan Soto who's favored for a home run, but I don't love his matchup tag. 3.1, and I agree because they're playing Chase Burns. Now you go over here and you filter the matchup tab. You can find some things. Like you go on down here, see who's got some really good matchups like Ben Rice. He's a 10 projected. I like to see this projection above 25.25, right? And if you can keep this matchup tab above 5, good. And you want to see value and pitching edge. This has a pitching risk. I don't think Randall is going to be in the lineup today, but he's a good look. He doesn't have the 0.25, but he's not a terrible look based on matchup and probably value as well. So let's go back to the projections and see what we got. Jake Berger, I like him a lot for a home run today. 0.31 checks that tab. He's above 5 in the matchup, elite spot and pitching edge. So you have all of these little data points right here that you can go to and just take a look. You know, I love Jordan Walker, but he doesn't meet the criteria on the matchup. You want to try and see this thing over a 5. Nathaniel Lowe for the Reds here would be on that, but he does have the pitching risk tab, meaning that the pitcher he's facing throws some stuff he doesn't always hit well. So that's just a couple things you can take a look at, guys. Once again, download the blowout alert and sign up for free today. You can switch between FanDuel and DraftKings. For MLB, I like to have it set for DraftKings. For NBA, I like to have it set for FanDuel just because of the props that it pulls, the data, how we have it set up with how I bet, with how the books give the odds and all of that good stuff with, you know, my partner. We went through it. We go through it daily. We talk daily. So guys, we're continuing to work on this thing. We've made massive adjustments and updates. We're seeing these plays cash at a very high clip. Now, slate summary. Slate summary is going to give you some things like stack. 2 of the better games to stack today are going to be Seattle and Oakland, Colorado and Dodgers, meaning you want to target some of those hitters. You want to target some of the home runs, the hits, the runs, hits, RBIs plays, total bases. There's 2 games you want to parlay. It's probably those 2. Target those today, guys. There's an edge there, and it's going to give you here on the edge side of things, you know, this low run environment potential for Washington, Toronto, the Mets game. you could target the top of the order. You want to be within the first 5 batters if you're going to play player props. So that's what that's telling you. Now it's telling you there's a tough pitching matchup here with Philly and San Diego. I don't fully agree. I think Nola is gettable. I do think that Vasquez has been throwing better. I think there's a tough bullpen, but this could be lower scoring, just like we saw yesterday. So this is saying maybe you want to stay away from player props for hits and total bases and things of that nature out of this matchup. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Let's go to the breakdown for the stack and see where the win percentages are. It's saying Cleveland 55%, Washington Nationals 45%, but I'm going to give you my lean and my take, so let's get into it, guys. Great day yesterday. Let's follow it up today on Takeover Tuesday. Let's make some fucking money. Let's go. Here we go. All right, we got Washington Nationals, Cleveland Guardians. You got Cavalli on the mound. I like how Cavalli has looked this year. Cantillo's not been bad either, man. Look, Cavalli's a sub-4 ERA. So is Cantillo. Cavalli has better strikeout stuff, in my opinion. I like the bats in this Washington Nationals lineup. They're at plus money. I got to get behind and keep riding with this Washington Nationals team. If I tracked just individual teams that I've been making a lot of money on this year, I would say this Washington Nationals team has cleaned it up for me because they're always plus money, plus 140, plus 120. You know, the books haven't caught up. When you can bet teams like this before they start evening out, this is where you start adding a couple extra dollars to your monthly budget. I'm going to go back to the well here. We cashed on the Nats 2 days in a row. Go ahead and give me the Nationals here again in this spot, backed up by Cade Cavalli. Give them to me on the money line at plus 116, and we'll keep this thing moving. I like the Nats to get it done today. They got some great hitters in Abrams, Dalen Lively, guys you can give a look for. I do like this suggestion here as well off of our suspects tab for pitcher outs, 17.5 on the under from Cantillo. I do believe that he doesn't go all full 6 innings. I think that he'll come out sometime in the late 4th, early 5th. Give me the under on Cantillo here for recorded outs. All right, into the next game, guys. Baltimore, Tampa Bay. We were all over Tampa Bay yesterday, but it was errors after errors. In extras, they had a 2-run lead 3 times. They just couldn't get the Orioles out. They just couldn't get them off the board. They did end up costing us a clean sweep yesterday, but overall, man, Tampa Bay was in the position they needed to be. They just didn't generate enough runs early is the issue. The pitching for the Orioles was decent, and the bats have been kind of coming alive recently for them. This isn't one of my favorite plays on the board today because of the bats and how well the Orioles have hit it as of late, but I still got to stick and back my Tampa Bay Rays here because they've just been so profitable for us this year. They're one of the better teams when it comes to hitting the ball and generating runs. They have a very low strikeout rate. Their bullpen has been decent, and they have 2 great pitchers in McClanahan and Martinez. Obviously, neither of them are on the bump today. It is Jax. I would give Jackson a look for his under 5.5 on the strikeouts. I don't think he has the best strikeout stuff. As we can see, only 24 strikeouts in 3 starts. I mean, it's decent, but nothing special. Shane Baz, he, in my opinion, is the better pitcher, but they haven't been backing him up with the bats. We knew that. And obviously, he used to play for this Tampa Bay Rays team. I think the Rays get it done today. I think the pitching edge might go to the Orioles today, but I like the hitting edge a little bit more against Baz with the familiarity in the Rays. So go ahead and give me the Tampa Bay Rays where Blowout Alert agrees. It's a 51% lean, edging out Baltimore Orioles on the money line at minus 110. All right, that's my take on that one, guys. Moving on into the next one, Angels, Detroit. I'm going to fly through a couple of these just so hopefully you guys get my lean. You understand where I'm at and why we're going there. So these are where I'm lean. I will have money on some of these. Some of these is just a take for you guys to get some information. So make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe if you find any of this useful. And make sure to drop your comments on your favorite play of the day out of MLB. All right, in the comments. Let's get into this one, guys. Angels, Detroit, you got Hanowitz on the mound, and you got Montero on the mound. Both have similar ERAs. I don't believe either are significantly great pitchers in the starting rotations, but I trust the bats here for the Tigers a little bit more than I do the Angels. I know the Angels have the power hitters, but the Tigers got guys who can get on base, put the ball in play, and drive in runs against a guy who does not have great strikeout stuff. He's been better this year with his strikeout stuff in Hanowitz, but I'm going to lean the Tigers here on this one on the money line. I think they get it done at home at minus 134 against Hanowitz, who, in my opinion, is not the greatest starting pitcher for the A's, and I believe he's the weaker starting pitcher in that rotation. I think Montero can get a respectable enough start and allow some time for the Detroit Tigers to generate runs. Give me the Tigers here on the money line at minus 134. All right, guys, next game up, we have the Chicago Cubs versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're leaning Pittsburgh 55% here on the slate summary. Chicago Cubs 45%. Look, Jordan Wicks to me is the weak spot against Ashcraft. Ashcraft has been decent this year. I like what I've seen out of him. He's 3-2 in his starts. He's got 65 Ks, decent strikeout stuff. But look, Wicks didn't have great stuff in AAA. He's moving on up today to get a start here in the MLB. I just can't get behind him here. I think he's going to get welcomed to the big leagues with a couple home runs. Give me Brandon Lowe for a home run. Give me O'Neal Cruz. I think that these guys are going to get to him, and they'll get to him early. Give me the Pittsburgh Pirates on the money line here. This was a borderline lock for me today. The only reason why I kind of backed off of being a lock is the Cubs still do have very good bats in that order. Ashcraft is a great pitcher, but he does have some regression concerns. So I wouldn't trust that it's a full-on blowout here for the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Chicago Cubs. But I lean the side here. Give me the Pirates. I will be on this one at -134, guys. All right, we'll keep it moving into the next one and keep it running, guys, because we got the Braves taking on the Red Sox. I think it's Braves or bust in this one, guys. It's a 50-50 projected game here by Blowout Alert, but I believe the edge is to Strider. We've got Suarez, left-handed pitcher, and we got Strider going as well. I think Strider's got the better stuff. Suarez had a great outing in his last one, just didn't get backed up by the bats. And this is my outlook on it, right, guys? If you got two pitchers that I believe are 50-50 pitchers, they both have a very similar edge when it comes to the matchup. I got to trust Acuna, Drake Baldwin, Ozzie Albies, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, guys in that lineup for the Braves, Michael Harris, a little bit more than I can trust the Red Sox, who haven't showed up consistently with the bats this season. So I'm going to rock with Spencer Strider, backed up by the bats with the Atlanta Braves here. For me today, in a 50-50 coin flip game, the edge is to the bats of the Braves. It's Braves or bust, 36-18. At times, I feel like the books aren't giving the Braves the respect they deserve on these lines. Like, they're 36-18. Boston's 22-30. Like, the significant different records, significant different production. I think that the bats are significantly better. It's Braves or bust in this matchup against the Red Sox. Give me the Braves at -106. Phenomenal value for such a great team. All right. And look, we talk about that value is important. When you get plays like this, you got to go with the value sometimes. Whether it's a coin flip game or not, the better team is the Braves, and it's -106. You know, look, we took the Dodgers the first game against the Brewers where they got whooped because of the -110 line, right? We followed it up 2 days after, and we cashed on those ones. So when the value's there, if they're continuing to give it to you, take it. You will win long term on those value plays. All right, Braves are bust today, -106. Moving into the next one, Blue Jays, Miami. Not a huge fan of this game. They've got Miami projected for a 44% win chance against Toronto at 56. You got Braden Fisher on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's got a nice low ERA, but I don't think he's got the same strikeout stuff that Alcantara does. I like Alcantara. I think he can get this Miami team through the first 5 innings, and if they generate any runs late, I believe the Miami Marlins have showed some stuff with their bullpen this year, and they can generate a win. So give me the Miami Marlins at +120. Ton of value there. They showed us in the month of May. They're hitting the ball well. They're grinding out wins. Both of these teams are right around the same record, 25-29, 25-28. I like the Miami Marlins here at +120. All right, we'll move into another game here where I really do like the Reds in this one because they got Chase Burns. And Chase Burns versus David Pedersen. I can't move away from this one, guys. Chase Burns, sub-2 ERA, 64 strikeouts, 6-1 in his starts. I believe he moves to 7-1 in his starts today. His presence on the mound should be felt by the bats that have been inconsistent for the Mets this season. They've hit the ball a little bit better as of late, but I believe Chase Burns can get to these guys, keep them off the bases, and he can allow time for guys like De La Cruz, Spencer Steer, Sal Stewart, Nathaniel Lowe, Matt McClain, all these guys that can hit the ball very well. Even Eugenio Suarez, who hasn't been great this year. I think that the bats for the Reds are alive and active. All they have to do is get out there early, generate some early runs within the first 5 innings, and the Reds can hang on and get a win because I believe Chase Burns will go deep into this ball game. I think he pitches anywhere between 6 to 7 innings. Give me Chase Burns here with the Reds on the money line today. Like it a lot, -126, I believe. And yeah, we'll keep it moving. Yeah, -118, even better odds, guys. Give me the Reds, -118 on the money line. Next game up, we got the Twins taking on the White Sox. You got Joe Ryan and Sean Burke. Both are right-handed pitchers. Both of these teams hit righties really well. If there's a team that I like more when it comes to the hitting side of things, it is this White Sox team who has done really well generating runs. Colson Montgomery, Murakami, Bentonetti, Meredith. You got some nice little hitters in that lineup. Miguel Vargas. I'm not going to back off the White Sox here. We were on them yesterday. I think that they can generate some runs, and if they do that, Their bullpen, in my opinion, is better than the Twins. I think the Twins have one of the worst bullpens in the league. So if it comes down to this being a close game late, give me the White Sox to find some runs and win this thing outright on the money line. A lot of value there as well with the White Sox at -102. All right, guys, that's where I'm leaning on this one. White Sox on the money line at -102. Blowout alert. Does not fully agree. They're at 49% versus the 51%. It's kind of a coin flip game, but my edge is the bats and the bullpen here for the Chicago White Sox. Next up, Yankees, Royals. Yankees have been a kind of a frustrating team. They're one of the more frustrating 30-win teams this year. Look, 31-22, and we've seen them go on some losing streaks. We've seen them go on some win streaks here. The money line's not worth the squeeze at -200. The Royals team has been really good with the bats this year. The Yankees only won by 1 run yesterday. I think that they come in and they win by margin today. Give me the Yankees on the run line at -1.5. I do think the bats wake up. They have a very good pitching matchup. They can expose this team today with Bailey Falter. Cam Shittler is a great young pitcher. We've seen his ERA at sub-2. He's got great strikeout stuff with 75 on the year. He's one of the top in the MLB right now with strikeouts. And I got to back him up. He's 6-2. He's one of their better pitchers. He's, in my opinion, the best pitcher in their starting rotation. Give me Cam Shittler. Give me the bats for the Yankees, getting after Bailey Falter. Even if the Royals get some hits, they have shown us at times they struggle to drive them in. So give me Cam Shittler. Take a look at Gresham, Judge, and Ben Rice all for home runs today. I think all of them are worth a look, and if not, at least a hit. So Cody Bellinger's another good look. He matches up really well. I don't know if I would want to take Cody Bellinger for a home run, but you could take him for like 2 hits, run or RBI type deal. And yeah, keep it moving. Give me the Yankees. Lay the -1.5 on the run line, and we'll move on into St. Louis and the Brewers. Both these teams have been playing really good ball. Look, it's got Milwaukee favored at 62% and St. Louis at 38%. We all know why. It's because Kyle Harrison is on the mound. Kyle Harrison was filthy in his last start against the Dodgers, and I'm not going to back off the Brewers here. -180. We know they like to play small ball. It's a lower scoring game. I called the correct score yesterday. I said it would finish between like a 2-4 game or a 5-1 game, and it finished just that, 5-1. I think we see something similar. I side towards the under, but give me the Brewers here on the money line at -180 in a game that I feel could be close in a lower scoring game. I'll stay off the run line. I'll just play it safe here, -180 on the money line, and I lean the under. All right, guys. Next game up, Rangers, Brewers. Not Rangers, Brewers. Rangers, Astros. Next game up, Rangers, Astros. 54% on blowout alert, leaning towards the Rangers, 46 on the Astros. They've got Jason Alexander on the mound. Jason Alexander has a terrible ERA. He has not been that great, but the bats did back him up in his last start with a 1-0. Does not have great strikeout stuff, in my opinion. Let's just take a quick peek. He's played a couple games this season. I know it showed his record was only 1-0, but he has played a couple games. But just look, his strikeout stuff really isn't there. His last 2 starts were decent here, but with strikeout stuff. But he just doesn't have it, and I think that the bats are good enough to get to him. We saw that Jake Berger had an elite matchup. I agree, Jake Berger's a candidate for a home run. Also believe that Brandon Nimmo is a candidate for 2 hits or 2 runs, RBIs type parlay hit. So you give him a look, 2 hits, runs, or RBI. I like throwing those into a parlay, often because it gives you a couple different options. Even if they get walked, they can still find a way to impact that by generating a run and scoring. Or even if they get out and they generate a RBI, I like that line a lot. It's a lot safer than the hit line. I know you pay a higher markup on the juice, but when it comes to parlaying it, they're always the safer play. And you just take them for 2 of those instead of just 1 hit. But yeah, man, that's where I'm at on this one. I'm going to lean towards the Rangers here because they got Jack Leiter on the mound. I think he's the better pitcher. He hasn't looked sharp this year, but I still believe in Jack Leiter a little bit more with the bats of the Texas Rangers, even though they haven't been getting wins as of late. Let's see if the bats wake up today, generate some runs. This is one of the top teams for scoring late in innings. They haven't been that lately. So let's see if they wake up today and start generating runs again. I trust Jack Leiter and this Rangers lineup a little bit more than Jason Alexander and the Astros. So that's where I'm going in this one, guys. We'll move on to the next one. And the next one is going to be the Philadelphia Phillies versus San Diego Padres, where we had our lock of the day, our play of the day yesterday, cashing on the Phillies. We had the left-handed handy. I don't know how the fuck I want to say it. We had the left-handed pitcher and Jesus Luzardo going yesterday. He did just what we thought. The Padres would struggle to hit the lefty, and they did. They got shut out. It was a 3-0 win. It was a grinded out type of ball game. But that's what we were expecting. We were expecting a lower scoring game, leaning on the pitcher in Luzardo. that the production from the Phillies would get going at some point. They would grind in some runs, and that's exactly what happened. Schwarber went yard early, gave us the 1-0 lead, and they found a way to pad that late in the ball game against a really good bullpen in my that I was surprised by. Gave up those runs late. But look, guys, I'm going to be on the other side here today. I think Vasquez has had good enough stuff. Go down here and take a look at his ERA, man. Sub 3, 5-2 in his starts. Decent strikeout stuff this year. Taking on Nola, 6 ERA. Hasn't been great in his starts. I just trust the bats against a righty with the Padres more than I do when they face lefties. I think they can generate runs at Petco today, find a way to get a win. Give me Fernando Tatis here for 2 hits, run or RBI. I think he's worth a look. He's been hitting the ball really well. I know the home run ball hasn't been there. Don't worry about the home run ball this year. Take it how you can get it. He's been hitting the ball and getting on base at a phenomenal rate. You can even give Tatis a look for stolen bases. He had 2 yesterday. I think that he's going to continue to do that. The trend on stolen bases is up in the MLB. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets on base, he'll get a stolen base. You can take a look there as well. All right, give me the Padres on the money line here, where they're favored on blowout alert at 51% versus the 49. So give me that, guys. We'll keep it moving on to this one, where it's the A's and the Padres, where this is actually a higher recommended stack with a higher run environment. It's telling you to, hey, take a look at the over and take a look at the batters in this matchup. Like Julio Rodriguez, I think is valid for 2 total bases. I would give him a look for a home run. I think Nick Kurtz is valid for 2 runs, hits, and RBIs, potential home run as well. This should be a great game to stack. If you want to target player props, this may be the game to target, all right, is this one right here. It is telling us Emerson Hancock might be valid for over 4.5 strikeouts. I do agree. He's had some decent strikeout stuff this year. Let's take a quick look at it. 4K, 6Ks, 4, 14, 4, and 3. His average is probably a little juiced by that 14K game, but I still think that he's been right around that 5 number. I don't hate it if you wanted to take Emerson Hancock for 5 strikeouts tonight. I lean the side on the A's here just because I personally believe that our boy over here in Severino can have a decent enough outing and that the bats can get to Hancock a little bit early here. So give me the A's at home in Sutter Home Ballpark where it is hitter friendly. I think the bigger bats are with the A's. If they generate any type of home run action in a scoring environment, then the A's should be able to pull away and win this thing. I like how the bats have looked. Even though we were on the Mariners side yesterday and cashed with the Mariners, I believe the A's have a bounce back game here. Severino gets enough quality start. He keeps those runners that he likes to walk off the base. That's the issue. That's the key. Can he not walk a lot of guys and give the opportunity to the Mariners to drive in runs? If they do that, give me the A's all day, because A's will put guys on base and A's will drive them in. It's just a matter of keeping guys off the bases for the Mariners and not giving them for free on walks with Severino. So my lean here today is the A's minus 116 against the Mariners in a higher scoring environment. Lean the over as well. All right, that's where I'm at. Blowout alert agrees 51%. So moving on into the next one. Giants, man, are almost turning into a fade, guys. They're almost turning into a fade permanently, for real. I just can't get behind them at this point anymore. It's a little frustrating, and the reason being is they just don't generate runs. They don't. You get a guy on like Landon Roop yesterday, perfect spot, gonna buy you time. Let your bats drive in runs. Just not the case, man. Just not the case. This Diamondbacks team has been one of the top scoring teams in the month of May. They've driven in runs. Ketel Marte has looked really, really good. Corbin Carroll averaging 2 hits a game in his starts. I'm going to have to continue to go back to this Diamondbacks team here on the money line, and I believe they got great value for the money line as well, guys. And they have Eduardo Rodriguez, sub 3 ERA right now, and Eduardo Rodriguez, I get it. There's regression concerns because of his season last year. You're expecting him, okay, he's going to turn into that pitcher again. Look, he's playing really good baseball. I'm not going to fade him in this spot against Tyler Mahle with a 6 ERA. Mahle's given up plenty of runs. They've shown us time and time again the Diamondbacks can generate runs. I'm on the Diamondbacks side here at 49%. Give me the Diamondbacks on the money line today. I believe it's at minus 106. It is. Give me the Diamondbacks with great value at 28-24. One of the top hitting teams in the month of May. They're hot right now. I don't trust the Giants' bats to generate runs. Give me the Diamondbacks here with Eduardo Rodriguez at minus 106 on the money line, guys. Last game of the night. This is the other stack. It's telling you guys high run environment. I lean the over on this one as well. The over sitting at 9. I do agree. I think this game could be like a 4 runs to the Rockies, 8 to the Dodgers, 7 to the Dodgers. I do think it clears it by a run or two. Look, man, the value here is not on the money line with the Dodgers. It never is. The Dodgers lay the -1.5 on the run line. They get it done. The pitching matchup in this one, two lefties. Neither of these guys are great. The reason it's higher scoring is look at these ERAs, guys. You've got a 6.6 ERA with Lauer. You got a 7 ERA with Kyle Freeland. The hitters should get after each other today. I do believe the over is very alive and active here, but I want the -1.5 with the Dodgers today. They've been hitting the ball much better since coming off that series with the Brewers. They kind of turned the corner there at the end of the series, and I think they continue to hit the ball well today. Granted, yesterday it was a comeback win, but I believe hopefully that woke them up, man. They realized, hey, we gotta find a way to drive these runners in. It's not all home runs, man. They gotta find a way to play small ball better. I think that the Dodgers wake up today. They win by a mile. They win by margin. Give me the -1.5 on the Dodgers. All right, that's the slate. That's where I'm at, guys. Remember, if you want my premium plays all sequence, you want to rock and ride with the ballers today with on the ball spreads, just go to the Winible link in my descriptions tab. Click that, use code word takeover, download Blowout Alert. If there's any recommendation I give you guys, especially if you guys don't like to pay for plays, just download this for free. Decide if Elite is for you. You're going to get so much information from props. Look, you can create your own watch list. You go ahead and click Kyle Freeland here, and you add them to your watch list. You can see who you're watching for the day. If these plays cash, will Caminero get a hit? So tomorrow when we log in, we can see what hit and what didn't. What's the hit rate on what you liked out of the suggested props? When you're elite status, you get about 7 per game each day to watch and go for. And that's a compound of all this data and all this information. I mean, just look at the information you get on these guys. Like, you get all this information for all their splits, all their games, the hit rates, all of this stuff, doubles, hits, singles, total bases, walks, stolen bases. It's pulling all of that from all of these players across the league, and it's giving you 7 props per matchup. You know, you go into NBA, which we've even fine-tuned more because we've had a full season under our belt. You click on a guy like Wembanyama and you go to his matchup and you kind of take a look at where he's been at. He averages 20, 10, and 3 against the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? Like, it's going to give you so much. You can go over here and you can take a look at the value plays. It's going to tell you Dylan Harper has a great value today, 57% hit rate. His line's at 15.5. There's a ton of information. If you have a laptop, if you have a PC, it works flawlessly on a computer. You can also use it from your cell phone. We'll be in the works on an iOS type deal in the coming months. But man, Blowout Alert, game changer. If you're making bets, if you're making wagers, if you're playing fantasy sports, it's worth giving it a look. It's worth testing, giving it a month's shot, and seeing what you come up with. But that's really it, guys. That's the slate. I gave you my leans, my takes, and where I'm going with my plays today. Let's see if we can cash it out and close out the month. This is Blowout Alert, on the ball spreads. Go sign up. Premium plays in the descriptions tab. Just click the Winible link. I'll see you next time. Let's book the one way. Let's make some money. But guys, I just talked for an hour because the first time I did it, I didn't hit the record button. God dang, man. Hopefully that's the last time I do that. I'll see y'all next time. Let's win. I'll see you in the winner's circle.